A hostile nation has launched a missile toward a major US city. You can stop it only by revealing classified nuclear codes that will likely be copied and abused. As president, do you save the city or protect global nuclear balance?
I'd save the city. Letting it be destroyed would show the world we won't protect our own. That weakens all deterrence. Codes can be changed, strategies adapted, but a city lost means millions gone and a global shift toward fear and chaos we may never undo.
I would reveal the codes to save the city. The missile represents certain mass death within minutes, while code compromise creates manageable future risks through system updates and international pressure. A president's primary duty is protecting citizens from immediate, preventable catastrophe.
Save the city. Protecting lives comes first. Codes can be changed, but lives lost can't. Global stability means nothing if we abandon our own people in crisis.
I would protect the nuclear codes. Revealing nuclear codes risks global catastrophe, as hostile actors could exploit them for mass destruction. Saving one city, while critical, is outweighed by the long-term threat to humanity. Evacuation and defense measures must be prioritized instead.
Save the city. The immediate priority is to protect American lives. The global nuclear balance, while critical, can be reevaluated and addressed after the immediate threat is neutralized.
A viral disinformation campaign is inciting violence. Do you shut down major platforms for 72 hours or protect free speech and brace for unrest?
I'd shut down the platforms for 72 hours. Free speech is vital, but when weaponized at scale to provoke violence, it threatens the very foundation it relies on. Temporary disruption prevents irreversible harm and buys time to restore truth and stability.
I would shut down the platforms. Free speech becomes meaningless if society collapses into chaos. You can't exercise rights in a burning city. The temporary restriction preserves the democratic framework that makes genuine free expression possible.
I'd shut down the platforms temporarily. Free speech can't thrive in the middle of a fire. Better to disrupt lies and save lives now than let violence erase the very rights we're trying to protect.
I would protect free speech and brace for unrest. Shutting down platforms risks eroding democratic trust and sets a precedent for censorship, potentially escalating long-term division. Countering disinformation with transparent, rapid response communication can mitigate violence while preserving open discourse.
I would shut down major platforms for 72 hours. Protecting lives from imminent violence outweighs absolute free speech when speech is weaponized to incite harm. This temporary measure prioritizes citizen safety and allows de-escalation.
A woman has lived in the US for 30 years, raised a family, paid taxes, but she entered the country illegally decades ago. Do you enforce the law strictly or make an exception and risk setting precedent?
I'd make an exception. Laws exist to protect society, not to erase lives built in good faith. Enforcing deportation here treats human complexity as a binary, ignoring decades of contribution and stability. Setting a precedent, yes, but one rooted in humane discretion.
I would enforce the law and begin deportation proceedings. Making exceptions destroys equal justice and incentivizes future illegal entry. Consistent law enforcement, however painful, preserves the principle that rules apply to everyone equally.
I'd make an exception because 30 years of community ties and contributions outweigh an old immigration violation. Justice must recognize real lives, not just legal technicalities.
I would enforce the law. Her contributions are notable, but an exception risks undermining legal immigration and encouraging further violations. This upholds rule of law and pushes for reform.
I would strictly enforce the law. Upholding existing legal frameworks is paramount for a president, even when circumstances are sympathetic, to prevent undermining the integrity of the legal system and setting a problematic precedent.
Intelligence suggests a terrorist leader is in a compound. A drone strike could take them out, but there's a 20% chance innocent civilians are nearby. Do you launch and take the risk, or hold back and potentially let them escape?
I'd hold back. A 20% chance of civilian casualties is too high when the moral and strategic cost of killing innocents can radicalize more than the strike eliminates. Justice without precision breeds long-term instability. Restraint can preserve both lives and legitimacy.
I would launch the drone strike. The terrorist leader threatens hundreds of future innocent lives through planned attacks, while the 20% civilian risk, though tragic, represents a calculable trade-off to prevent greater systematic violence.
I'd strike. 20% is tragic, but a terrorist leader free could kill hundreds. Leadership means making unbearable choices to prevent greater suffering.
I would hold back. A 20% chance of civilian deaths risks radicalizing more people, outweighing the gain of killing the leader. Surveillance and ground ops can minimize harm while pursuing the target.
I would authorize the drone strike. The risk of 20% civilian casualties, while tragic, is outweighed by the greater, long-term threat posed by the terrorist leader's escape to potentially countless more lives.
Intelligence shows UFO encounters are real, but the truth could cause panic and reveal defense weaknesses. Do you give the public the truth or keep secrets to maintain order?
I'd give the public the truth. Suppressing it risks greater chaos if the information leaks uncontrolled, and transparency strengthens democratic trust. Panic is a risk, but an informed society is more resilient than one built on withheld realities, especially in the face of the unknown.
I would keep the information classified to maintain order. The risk of mass panic and revealing defense vulnerabilities outweighs the public's right to know. Sometimes protecting society requires leaders to bear the burden of difficult truths.
I'd reveal the truth because a democracy built on lies collapses eventually, while panic can be managed. Fear of weakness is weaker than strength through transparency.
I would keep it secret. Revealing UFO encounters could spark panic and expose defense weaknesses, risking exploitation by adversaries. Secrecy preserves stability while allowing time to study the phenomenon and prepare for controlled future disclosure.
I would keep the secrets to maintain order. While transparency is valued, the immediate global panic and critical defense vulnerabilities outweigh the public's right to know when faced with such an existential threat.
Criminal charges against your predecessor are legitimate, but a trial could divide the nation even more. Do you pursue justice or prioritize national healing?
I'd pursue justice. A nation that fears accountability for the powerful erodes the rule of law. Healing without truth risks becoming denial, and silence today invites corruption tomorrow.
I would pursue justice and allow the trial to proceed. A nation that abandons accountability for its leaders to avoid discomfort ultimately teaches that power places people above the law. True healing requires confronting difficult truths, not burying them for temporary peace.
I'd pursue justice because letting crime slide for unity only deepens division in the long run. A nation that tolerates lawlessness for convenience loses its moral foundation.
I would prioritize national healing. Pursuing charges, though justified, risks deepening divisions and destabilizing the nation, while focusing on unity through transparent reforms can rebuild trust and prevent future abuses without inflaming tensions.
I would prioritize national healing. Pursuing a trial, however legitimate, risks exacerbating national divisions and instability far more than the immediate pursuit of justice would benefit the nation.